Hey, so what's going on in the Gold Canyon real estate market? So my name is Tony Vehon. I'm the owner-broker of Weichert Realtors, Lake Realty right here in Gold Canyon. It's Friday, February 15th, day after Valentine's. Hope you guys had an awesome Valentine's Day. And hey, every month I try to come to you with my real estate market update for Gold Canyon. Kind of let you guys know what's been happening in the market, maybe what to going to come in the next few months, and just give you some good information to be able to make good decisions about. So I didn't end up doing one of these in December, but it's probably just as well because it would have been fairly depressing. December was not a good month. It's never a great month, but it was really not a good month in Gold Canyon as far as real estate goes. You can look at some of the top here and you see everything is in red. That's because everything was down. So the number of listings compared to, so this is for January of 2019, these statistics are. But for December of 2018, listings were down 16% from November, and they were down 28% from a year previous. The same time, December 2017. So listings, even though they've been down historically in Gold Canyon over the last year or two, they were down even more than usual in December. So that didn't help a ton. Then new contracts. So we saw December, as being just a really quiet month for new contracts. Not a lot was happening there. It was down 30% from November and 33% from the same time a year ago. So a lot of downs in December for us. And the same thing with closed sales. So since inventory was down, number of contracts was down, you can just imagine closed sales in December were down as well. 40% down from November of 2018 and 40% down from December of the previous year. So December was not a pretty month. But luckily for us, January started to see a pickup, a rise in the market. It didn't start out strong at the very beginning, but we began as we got partway into January to see things pick up. Listings start to come back on the market again. Buyers starting to get more active, and some closings starting to happen. So just kind of as a quick recap, what happened then in January? So in January, new listings were up 86% from what they were in December. So it's not surprising that since they were down so much in December, they popped up. So I think everybody was getting ready after January. A lot of folks put their houses on the market, so they jumped up. Although it was down about 4.5% from what it was the previous year, but that's not bad. So we're kind of starting out back where we should be by the time we got into January as far as new listings are concerned. New contracts, like I told you, contracts in December were down 30%. So in January, they shot up 125% over what they were in December. So December was so low, made January look great. 125% up. And it was up 18% over January of last year. So you can see that January now started to really pick up the momentum. But it takes a little time for those things to go through the process and to close. So we were still up 41% in closings over December, but down about 13% over the same time last year. So we will begin to see that change as we're now 100%, 125% up in new contracts. That means that going into February, we will begin to see a lot more closings and a lot more activity. We're down, like I said, historically in the number of total listings that we should have. In January, we were about 229 listings, and historically, we would be probably in the 289 range. So we're still down from where we should be. Inventories are a little bit low on that range. Lastly, let's look at a few numbers for dollar volume. So in January, there were, January 2019, $12 million worth of properties that closed. and that was right at about par what it was the year before. It was about 12 million. So we stayed pretty steady in there in January. But the nice thing is the average sales price went up 12% from what it was in January of 2018. So in January 2018, average sales price was about 316. In January of this year, it was 355. Understand that the average kind of jumps around a little bit year to year, so that may be a little bit different. But yeah, inventory again was down about 14% from the norm. As far as closed sales, so there were 34 closed sales in January. 14 of those were cash deals, 16 were conventional financing, 1 was FHA, and 3 were VA financing. So a little bit across the board, but still we tend to see that cash and conventional seem to rule the day when it comes to closings in most of Gold Canyon. Lastly, I wanted to point out that we actually had some good high dollar sales. The $200,000 to $300,000 range still was where most of the activity was. 18 of the closings were in that range. But we had 2 closings in January that were in the $1 million to $2.5 million category. So that was awesome to be able to see that is starting to pick up as well. So anyway, I know that's fast. I know it's a lot, but let's just take a look back for just a second and say, you know, the end of the year was really, really slow. The first week or so of January was slow. And now all of a sudden we are seeing homes come on the market. We are seeing lots of people out there looking for homes. Let me just warn you that the waiting game is not a good one right now because inventories are still historically low. So if a good house comes on the market, it's priced right, good location, it goes within days. So you don't have a lot of time. But we will continue to see some inventory coming on the market as we go. Now we're into February, and as we go into March and April. Our busiest time of year is from January through May. So this is still a very active time. There is still time to sell and still time to buy in our market. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please feel free to share it with other folks. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know if you have any questions or anything that you would like to see improved in this. If not, I'll jump off of here for now, and we will do this again in March and reflect back on what happened during February. So thanks for taking the time. Have an awesome month.